Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel and welcome back to the 1985 pennant race in season ticket baseball. We are very much near the end of the regular season, so let's go ahead and set the scene here. We are at Royals Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri tonight for an American League East matchup between the California Angels and the Kansas City Royals. It is September 30th, 1985. The Royals historically won this game 3-1. As usual, we will see what Season Ticket has to say about that. As for the standings, in the National League East, the St. Louis Cardinals have wrapped up the division at 99-57. They're chasing the Dodgers for the 1 seed in the National League. The New York Mets have clinched a playoff berth at 89-67. Right now, the Mets are the 4 seed. And the Montreal Expos are at a record of 81-74. They have a magic number of 1, but they have to have a win because the Phillies have already been eliminated via not being able to finish over 500, and nobody below the Phillies can finish above 500 either. In the National League West, an almost identical situation as the Los Angeles Dodgers have wrapped up the division, still trying to clinch the number 1 seed. The Houston Astros are behind them, having clinched a playoff berth at 93-62. As of now, the Astros would be the 3 seed. The Cincinnati Reds are at a record of 84-72. They've secured playoff eligibility. They have a magic number of 1. But they can have the Padres lose to have them clinch their playoff spot. Our eyes in this feature game are, of course, on the American League West, as the California Angels come in with a record of 89-65. The Royals are 2.5 behind them with a record of 88-69. California right now has got a magic number of 5 to clinch the American League West. But our eyes are definitely going to be turning, after tonight's feature game is over, to the American League East, as the New York Yankees have locked up the 1 seed in the American League with a record of 103-52. Toronto is behind them at 92-64, 11.5 back, and the Blue Jays have a magic number of 2. The Tigers are at 89-67. Right now, they would be the 4 seed, whereas Toronto would be the 3 seed. Detroit has a magic number of 4. The Baltimore Orioles are on their heels, still very much in the playoff picture, at a record of 85-69. They are 3 back of the Tigers and 6 back of the Blue Jays. The Red Sox are at 78-78, so they're probably too far gone at this point to be relevant in the playoff picture. But they are at 500 right now, so that's where things stand in the division. As DJ John 4444 is first to join us here at Royals Stadium. So we've got fans here. We got the fans filing into Royals Stadium. We are expecting a sellout for this one, and we've got a critical American League West matchup. So what say we get down to the field as the fans continue to file in a sea of blue and gold. Starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals tonight is Brett Saberhagen, 20-6 with a 2.87 ERA, 235 and a third innings pitched, 158 strikeouts, 38 walks, and 19 home runs in 85. And actually, before we take a look at the Angels lineup, I will remind you guys that we might have one more regular season block. That will depend on if everything in the AL East gets wrapped up. If everything in the AL East gets wrapped up except for seeding, we're going to fast score our way through the rest of the regular season, and the playoffs will start tomorrow. If we stop for one more block, then the playoffs will start Saturday, but we'll know more about that during Fast Score. Now with that out of the way, the Royals are getting loose behind Saberhagen, so let's take our first look at the Angels' starting lineup. Leading off, we've got Rod Carew at first base, Rupert Jones is in left field, Darryl Sconiers is the designated hitter, Doug DeCinces is at third base. Reggie Jackson is in right field. Bobby Grich is at second base. Gary Pettis is in center field. Craig Gerber is at shortstop. And Bob Boone is catching for the Angels. That's the lineup Saberhagen is charged with keeping in check tonight. Leading off for the California Angels tonight, we have got Rod Carew. 280 average, 2 home runs, 39 RBIs, and 85. We are using blue, white, and gold dice tonight as the Royals are the home team tonight. Kansas City trying to make up some ground in the American League West. California trying to get some breathing room and clinch the division title and the number 2 seed that goes with it. Which team will achieve their goal tonight? Only the dice know, and in order to figure out what the dice know, we have to go to the first pitch. So, season ticket, take it away. We'll get started with a 291 against a lefty at 291. Oh boy. Carew's got into 1 already. That is deep into right field. Carew with the power of a 0, though. What does Carew do with this one? That one's going to drop in front. That one's going to drop in front of Motley, and Carew will have a leadoff single, and we are underway here at Royals Stadium. The infield will go to double play depth. Rupert Jones is now the batter. 231 average, 21 home runs, 67 RBIs in 85. Carew, not much of a threat to steal against Saberhagen. He will hold. Jones is just going to grip it and rip it. Saberhagen will look to Sundberg for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 563. That'll be over to shortstop, where Concepcion waits for that one, and that'll be a ground ball right to him. Carew had a pretty good lead, so he will throw that. So Concepcion will move that over to first. 1 out in the inning, and Carew will move over to second. Darryl Sconyers is now the batter. 286 average, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs in 85. Carew edging off of second, but he will hold. Saberhagen will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set. Here's the kick, and here's the pitch. That's a 428 against a righty of 428. That's going to be a walk for Sconyers. He will trot to first with a 1-out walk. Saberhagen loses control of a changeup for ball 4. That'll sail wide, and Sconyers will be at first. Here's Doug DeCinces. 244 average, 20 home runs, 78 RBIs in 85. Saberhagen looking at Sundberg for the sign. He's in a little bit of a jam here. Fans at Royals Stadium are loud, hoping Saberhagen can come up with a big-time pitch. Saberhagen will set, and he will pitch. That is a 561. That's over to Concepcion, and that'll be grounded right over to Concepcion. He'll take it on the hop. He'll flip that over to White at second. White will turn, make the relay to Balboni at first. That is in time. That'll be a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play. Stadium cheers. Yay! A walk and a hit for the Angels, but they can't do anything with it. Score is now California 0, Kansas City coming to bat. Oop, let's make sure we adjust that. This should be a great game, a very high-stakes game. And I did forget to mention before the game started that the umpires came out all... Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, the umpires came out and issued warnings to both teams. It is a division rivalry game, but the stakes are way too high tonight. The umpires don't want any funny business tonight. Starting pitcher for the California Angels is John Candelaria. 7-3 with a 3.80 ERA, 71 innings pitched, 53 strikeouts, 24 walks, 7 homers, and 85. And of course, the warnings mean that any hit batters will result in the pitcher being tossed. While the Angels get loose behind Candelaria, we will take our first look at the Royals starting lineup. Leading off, we've got Lonnie Smith in left field, Willie Wilson in center field, George Brett at third base, Hal McRae is the designated hitter, Frank White is at second base, Steve Balboni is at first base, Darryl Motley is in right field, Jim Sundberg's catching, and Onyx Concepcion is at shortstop tonight. That is the lineup Candelaria is going to have to keep in check tonight for the Angels against the Royals. Leading off for the Royals tonight, we've got Lonnie Smith. 257 average, 6 home runs, 41 RBIs, and 85. And as usual, I will see you guys again for the top of the second. Candelaria, we're looking at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. That is a 355, and a 355 is going to pop Smith up on the infield. Getting under that at first base is going to be Carew. He will make a nice easy catch, and that will be 1 out in the inning. Willie Wilson is now the batter. 278 average, 4 home runs, 43 RBIs in 85. Candelaria looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 571. That'll be into left field. Going after that for the Angels is Jones, and it'll be a fly ball into left field. Jones taking 2 outs in the inning. And I see OBS was being dumb through another fly ball. Here's George Brett. 335 average, 30 home runs, 112 RBIs in 85. Candelaria looks into Boone for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 315, and a 315 is going to get lifted into left field. Once again, Jones will track that one down. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels here in the bottom of the first. We are scoreless at Royals Stadium after 1. This is a very important game tonight for both teams. Leading off the top of the second, we've got some bum that nobody's going to hear of again. Some bum by the name of Jackson. Reggie Jackson. 252 average, 27 home runs, 85 RBI, and 85. Saberhagen looking at Sundberg for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup. And here comes the pitch. That is a 278 against a lefty. Oh boy. Jackson's into one. That's deep to right field. Jackson with a power of a 9. Can he give the Angels the lead with one swing of his bat? Jackson's going to get into that one into right field. He's going back to the track for that one is going to be Motley. He's back to the track, and it's going to die out there. Motley will track that one down with 1 out in the inning. Saberhagen just pitched him a meatball, but Jackson got under it just enough for Motley to track it down. 1 out, and here's Bobby Grich. 242 average, 13 home runs, 53 RBIs, and 85. Saberhagen looks into Sundberg for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 182. And a 182 is going to be a bloop single for Grich. That'll just barely get out of the infield, but just barely enough for Grich to have a single. Must have hit shift. Infield will go to double play depth. Gary Pettis is now the batter. 257 average, 1 home run, 32 RBIs, and 85. The Angels are going to try a hit and run with Pettis here. That will be the play. Saberhagen will look to Sundberg for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 582. That'll be into center field. Wilson will go back for that one, and it'll be a fly ball right at him. Wilson will hunt that one down, and that will be out number 2. Craig Gerber is now the batter. 264 average, no home runs, 6 RBIs, and 85. Saberhagen looking in at Sundberg once again for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 349. And a 349 is going to be a fly ball into right field. Going back for that one is Motley. He will take his time, make sure he's got it, and that ball will fall into his glove, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the single for the Angels. We are still scoreless here in Kansas City as we get set for the bottom of the second. Candelaria will finish his warm-up tosses as Hal McRae will step into the batter's box. 259 average, 14 home runs, 70 RBIs, and 85. Candelaria will look in at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 372, and a 372 is going to be a ground ball over to third. DeCinces will get to that one. He will throw that across the diamond to first, and that's out number one. Frank White is now the batter. 249 average, 22 home runs, 69 RBIs, and 85. Frank White at second base tonight. Candelaria will get the sign from Boone. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 208. 208 against a righty is going to turn into a 408. And against a lefty, White's going to ground that one back to Candelaria. He will take his time, move that over to Carew at first, out number two. Batter now is the first baseman for the Royals, Steve Balboni. 243 average, 36 home runs, 88 RBIs, and 85. Candelaria will look to Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 551. That'll be over to third base. Going after that is going to be DeCinces. And he'll take a very hot grounder on a one-hop. DeCinces will take his time, throw that across the diamond to first, and that will retire the side. Once again, 1, 2, 3 go the Royals here in the bottom of the second. We are still scoreless in Kansas City after two. Very early in a pitcher's duel tonight. Leading off the top of the third for the Angels, we've got Bob Boone. 248 average, 5 home runs, 55 RBIs, and 85. Saberhagen looking in at Sundberg for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 462 against a righty, 462. That's going to be a ground ball over to second. Grabbing that for the Royals is White. He will move that over to first, and that'll be the first out of the inning. Here's Carew. Carew is 1 for 1 with a single tonight. Saberhagen looking in at Sundberg for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. That is a 632. And a 632 is going to be popped up on the infield. Getting under that at shortstop is Concepcion. He will call everybody off. He will make the catch, and that will be out number two. And here's Jones. Jones is 0 for 1. Saberhagen hoping for a nice, easy third inning. He will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 335. And that's going to be a swing and a miss as Jones goes through the high heat for strike 3. That will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels here in the top of the third. We are still scoreless in Kansas City as we get set for the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third, we'll bring the bottom of the Royals order up. Here's Darryl Motley. He's in right field tonight. 222 average, 17 home runs, 49 RBIs, and 85. Candelaria looks to Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. That is a 607. That'll turn into a 617. And that'll be a swing and a miss as Motley goes through a curveball for strike 3. That is out number 1. Jim Sundberg is now the batter. 245 average, 10 home runs, 35 RBIs, and 85. Candelaria looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 498 against the lefty 498. Sundberg gets into one that is deep to left field. Sundberg with a power of a 7. Does he give the Royals the lead with this swing of the bat? He doesn't give him the lead outright, but Sundberg is going to get that one into the gap in left field. That will be a double. Onyx Concepcion is now the batter. 204 average, 2 home runs, 20 RBIs, and 85. Sundberg, not a threat to steal. He will stay put. Candelaria will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 641. That'll turn into a 651. And that'll be a ground ball over to third. Grabbing that one is going to be DeCinces. He will take the out at first, and that is out number 2. Sundberg will move over to third on the play. Batter now is Smith. Smith tonight is 0 for 1. Candelaria trying to get out of the bottom of the third with no damage. He will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 306. And a 306 is going to be a called strike 3 on Smith as he gets frozen by a slider. That will retire the side. Nothing across except the double, but Sundberg gets stranded at third. Neither team wants to blink here tonight in Kansas City. We are still scoreless at Royals Stadium after 3. As Troy Sawyer now joins us here at Royals Stadium. Just in time to see a pitcher's duel unfolding. Welcome in tonight, Troy. Top of the 4th coming up brings us to the heart of the Angels' order. Here's Sconiers. Sconiers has a walk tonight. Saberhagen trying to keep this game right where it is, but he knows he's got some powerful hitters coming up. Saberhagen will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. That is a 628. And a 628 is going to be popped up to short on the infield. Concepcion will call everybody off in the grass. He will make the catch on that, and that will be out number 1. Here's DeCinces. DeCinces hit into a double play his first time up. 1 out, bottom of the top of the 4th, no score. Saberhagen will look into Sundberg for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. 452 against a righty of 452. DeCinces is going to get into one. That's going to be a double for DeCinces. He will be at second. And now a dangerous situation for Kansas City fans as here comes Reggie Jackson. He is 0 for 1. He took a fly ball a long way into right field before it died out there. Saberhagen knows he's got to be careful with Jackson. A mistake could end up in the upper deck. Saberhagen will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 526. That's going over to Sundberg, and a 526 is going to be popped up behind the plate. Sundberg will throw his mask away. He will track that down. Actually, 520, yeah, that'll be popped up behind the plate. Sundberg will throw his mask away, but he'll track it down for 2 outs for the second out of the inning. Here's Gritch. Gritch is 1 for 1. Saberhagen looking in at Sundberg for the sign. He's trying to work around a 1-out double. Saberhagen will set, and he will pitch. That is a 466 against the righty. A 466 is going to be a ground ball over to short. Concepcion gets that one ranging to his left. He will throw it over to first, get Gritch by a couple of steps, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the double for the Angels. We are still scoreless here in Kansas City as we get set for the bottom of the fourth. Neither team wants to make that first mistake, because that first mistake could bring a division title and seeding in the playoffs with it. Bottom of the fourth brings us back toward the top of the Kansas City order. Here's Wilson. Wilson tonight is 0 for 1. Candelaria looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here comes the pitch. That is a 406. And a 406 against the lefty is going to be lined right at third base. Putting up his glove in self-defense is going to be DeCinces. The ball will slam into it, and that's out number 1. Just going to grab my phone, keep an eye on things here. Okay. Now that we've got all that set, Brett is now the batter. Brett is 0 for 1. He flew out his first time up. Candelaria looking in at Boone for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That's a 506. That's going to give us a rare play. A 133 says, batter is hit in the head by the pitch but not injured. And since warnings were already in effect, Brett goes to first. And since warnings were already in effect, if you guys missed the intro, then you know the umpires came out and gave both teams warnings already. Candelaria is ejected. He's out of the game. That is a big blow for the Angels, as the Angels need to go to the bullpen already. The umpires did not want to put up with any funny business in this one tonight, as coming into pitch. Coming into pitch in long relief. Is going to be Urbano Lugo, 3-4 with a 3.69 ERA, 83 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, 29 walks, and 10 home runs in 85. I'll give him a little bit to get some of his warm-up tosses in as I catch up with things on the phone, and I want to take a quick drink before I continue. Okay. I think that's enough time for warm-up tosses for Lugo. The infield will go to double play depth, and the batter now is McCray. McCray tonight is 0 for 1. And now that we're all set, going back into Digital Diamond. Lugo will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 311. And a 311. McCray is going to swing through the high heat for strike 3. That is out number 2. White, now the batter. White tonight is 0 for 1. Lugo will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 569. That sounds like it's going to be trouble. That's over to Gerber. And a 569. Gerber's going to pick it up. He's going to drop it. And everybody's going to be safe on the E6. Wow, an error for the Angels. Not something you want to see tonight. Royal Stadium is now alive for Balboni. Balboni tonight is 0 for 1. Lugo looking at Gerber going, come on, man, we've got a game to win here. We've got a division to win. We don't want to play in the wild card game. Lugo will get the sign from Boone. Royal Stadium is loud. Lugo will set, and he will pitch. That is a 501. That's going to be another rare play. Let's see. Do we go to runners on first and second? We go to regular rare plays. That is a 507. Let's see what happens on a 507. 507 is going to be a dribbler in front of the plate. Batter safe at first on a throwing error by the catcher. Runners advance 2 bases. Batter may try to advance to second by challenging the right fielder's arm. Well, so what did we say on the 5-0? What was that? That was a 507. So that's going to give the Royals the lead. Batter safe at first on a throwing error, so that's going to be an E2++. The Royals aren't going to get greedy here. This is not the time for that. The Royals will take a 1-0 lead. Stadium cheers. Yay! Actually, hold on. Well, it looks like we're going to end up with the bases loaded, actually. So that's an E2++. Batter now is Motley. We'll end up with the bases loaded. I'll go with Digital Diamond. Motley tonight is 0 for 1. Fans at Royal Stadium are loud, hoping the Royals can get something out of this. Lugo will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 396, and well, the Royals just got something out of that, as they're going to get something out of it with a boom! High, deep, gone! Grand slam, Darryl Motley. What a huge play for the Royals. Everybody coming home to the plate, and the Royals will take a 4-0 lead. I had the one up there, but that was before Digital Diamond said, nope, we've only got 1 base advancement. Stadium cheers. Yay! Motley coming through as the Royals are trying to preserve their chances at the AL West title. Lugo in total shock as 2 errors come back to haunt the Angels. And here's Sundberg. Sundberg has a double tonight. Lugo gets the sign from Boone. Gonna wait for OBS to stop being dumb. All right, Lugo will get the sign, he will set, and he will pitch. That is a 658. That'll turn into a 668, and that'll be grounded right back to Lugo. He will fire that over to Carew at first, and that will retire the side. But what an inning for the Royals first. 4 runs on a hit batter, on 1 hit, a hit batter, and 2 errors. That hit being a grand slam by Darryl Motley, as the Royals now have a 4-0 lead after 4. Top of the 5th brings up the bottom of the Angels' orders. They're suddenly down 4-0. Here's Pettis. Pettis tonight is 0 for 1. Saberhagen got to be feeling mighty good with a 4-0 lead. He will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 524 going over to Sundberg. That's going to be a called strike 3 on Pettis as a slider catches the zone. Out number 1. Pettis says, that pitch was out of bounds. The umpire says, no, you're out of bounds. You're also out. Go sit. And here's Gerber. Gerber is 0 for 1. Saberhagen will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 328. And a 328 is going to be popped up on the infield. Getting under that at third base on the foul side is going to be Brett. He will track that down. 2 outs in the inning. Boone is now the batter. Boone is 0 for 1 tonight. Saberhagen looking in at Sundberg for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 634, and a 634 is going to be lifted into center field. Wilson will get under that one for the Royals. He'll range in for that one. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels here in the bottom of the 5th. They cannot afford to be going 1, 2, 3 when they're trailing Kansas City 4-0 heading into the bottom of the 5th. Bottom of the 5th will bring us to the bottom of the order. Here's Concepcion. Concepcion's 0 for 1. Lugo has got to have instant amnesia from that bottom of the 4th. He will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 486. That sure does not sound like amnesia. Well, it is kind of here. That's going to be a fly ball into center field. Getting under that for California is Pettis. He will track that down, going back near the track. He'll make the catch, and that will be out number 1. Smith, now the batter. Smith is 0 for 2. Lugo will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 519 right back to the pitcher, and Lugo's going to drop that one after managing to catch that one. It was just too hot for him. He drops it, and Smith will be safe at first on the E1. Third error for California tonight. They don't want to be making this many errors. The infield will go to double play depth, and here's Wilson. Those errors are how they got into trouble in the bottom of the 4th. Wilson is 0 for 2, though. Lugo gets the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 535. That's going to be over to first base. Going after that is Carew on a 535. It'll be grounded right to Carew. He will wave off Lugo coming over to cover the bag. He'll take that over himself. 2 outs in the inning. Smith will go to second. Two outs in the inning, and Brett now is the batter. Brett is 0 for 1. He reached on the hit pitch on the hit batter that got Candelaria tossed from the game. Lugo will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 189. And a 189 is going to be a bloop single, and the Royals are going to get another run. Smith will come in to score. 5-0 Royals. Stadium cheers. Yay! Here's McRae. McRae is 0 for 2. Lugo will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 330. And a 330 is going to be a fly ball into right field. Tracking that one down is going to be Jackson. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. But the Royals get another run. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error. Score is now 5-0 Kansas City after 5. Royals are not screwing around with this one tonight. Top of the 6th brings us back to the top of the California order. Here's Carew. Carew is 1 for 2 with a single tonight. Saberhagen with a 5-0 lead to work with. He will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 170, and a 170 is going to be a fly ball into left field. Smith will go after that one. He'll come in for that one, but he will make the catch, and that will be out number 1. And here's Jones. Jones is 0 for 2. Saberhagen looking in at Sundberg for the sign. Fans at Royal Stadium are loud, knowing Kansas City is trying to cut into this lead. He will set. Saberhagen will set, and he will pitch. That is a 341 and a 341. Jones is going to try to do too much with a changeup. He will swing through that, and that'll be out number 2. Sconyers is now the batter. I think the Angels are starting to panic a little bit here. Sconyers is 0 for 1 with a walk. Saberhagen will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 242 against a lefty. 242. Sconyers is going to get frozen by a curveball, just catching the inside corner for strike 3. That will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels here in the top of the 6th. Kansas City holding a 5-0 lead as we get set for the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th brings us to the middle of Kansas City's order. Here's White. White tonight is 0 for 1, but he reached on an error. We're going to get some activity in California's bullpen, as starting to get loose for the Angels is going to be Luis Sanchez. He will start getting loose in the Angels bullpen. Lugo will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 307, and that's going to be a swing and a miss by White as he misses a changeup for strike 3. That is out number 1. White took a huge cut at that one, but he gets nothing but air as the changeup finds its way into Boone's glove for out number 1. Here's Balboni. Balboni is 0 for 1. He reached on an error. 1 of 3 the Angels have committed tonight. That's how the Royals have a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Lugo will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 490 against a righty. A 490 is going to be a fly ball into center field. Getting under that one for the Angels is Pettis. He will make the catch, and that will be out number 2. Two outs, and the batter now is Motley. Motley is the reason why the Royals have the lead, 1 for 2, but that one was a grand slam. Lugo will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 645. That'll turn into a 655, and that'll be a ground ball over to short. Gerber will grab that one for the Angels. He will throw that over to first, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Royals in the bottom of the 6th, but the Royals hold a 5-0 lead after 6. I'm going to go check. I'm going to check on my laundry timer real quick because I'm expecting that. We can keep this going. We should be able to pick this up in the 7th inning. We should be able to go get laundry in the 7th inning stretch. Speaking of which, this top of the 7th brings us to the middle of California's order as Saberhagen will continue to pitch. DeCinces now the batter. DeCinces is 1 for 2 with a double. Saberhagen will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 230 against a righty. A 230 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Grabbing that for Kansas City is going to be Brett. He will throw that across the diamond. 1 out in the inning. One out, and here is Jackson. The ever-dangerous Jackson, but he's 0 for 2 tonight. Saberhagen looking in at Sundberg for the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the pitch. That is a 373, and a 373 is going to be a swing and a miss as Jackson tries to do too much with a slider. That is out number 2. Strike 3 on the outside corner after Jackson takes a big cut at it. Angels are definitely panicking. Here's Gritch. Gritch is 1 for 2. Saberhagen trying to get out of the 7th. He will get the sign from Sundberg. Saberhagen will set, and he will pitch. That is a 422 against a righty, and that's going to be a walk as Gritch will trot to first with a 2-out walk. That'll be the first point of fatigue against Saberhagen, which I'll get in a second here. Batter now for the Angels is Pettis. Pettis is 0 for 2. Saberhagen looking in at Sundberg for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 554. That's over to third base where Brett's waiting for that one. And he grounded right to him. Brett will take his time with that. He will throw that across the diamond, and that will retire the side. Nothing across except the walk for the Angels. And we are still at 5-0 heading into the 7th inning stretch. Feel free to sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but I won't torture you guys with my rendition of it. I will, however, take a small break. As Philip Anderson now joins us here at Royal Stadium. Just in time for me to wait for the timer to tick out for my first pass of laundry, which will be part of our small break. And on that note, I will be right back. So what you were thinking of is if I do a studio show like the tabletop equivalent of Sports Center, one of the places I could possibly do it from is the laundry room. No, I couldn't do it from the laundry room, Philip. The acoustics are absolutely terrible in the laundry room. If there was more carpeting down there, I would think about it, but no, that's not going to work for a studio show. Don't forget, though, we've got a hugely important session of Fast Score tonight. If the AL East does not get wrapped up tonight, we are going to head to Memorial Stadium on October 4th, 1985, for an American League East matchup between the Detroit Tigers and the Baltimore Orioles. Dan Petry would be going for the Tigers, and Scott McGregor would be going for the Orioles. But if everything does get wrapped up in the AL East tonight, then we are going to fast score our way to the end of the regular season, and then tomorrow we will be starting the playoffs already with the first National League wildcard game. As of now, that would be the Montreal Expos at the Cincinnati Reds. But we will have to stay tuned and see how Fast Score plays everything out for us. Bottom of the 7th coming up, and the Angels need a new pitcher. Lugo is going to come out of the game. Coming in to pitch for California is going to be Luis Sanchez. 2-0 with a 5.72 ERA, 61 and a third innings pitched, 34 strikeouts, 27 walks, 9 home runs, and 85. He'll be charged with the bottom of the Royals order. Here's Sundberg. Sundberg is 1 for 2. Sanchez trying to stop the bleeding for the Angels. The offense needs to wake up, and soon. Sanchez will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 451 against a righty. A 451. Sundberg is going to get into one. That's going to be a base hit into center field. The infield will go to double play depth. Concepcion, now the batter. Concepcion tonight is 0 for 2. Nothing cute here. Although, well, yeah, nothing cute here. The Royals, I think both teams just want this game over with. Sanchez will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is going to be a 449 against a righty. A 449 is going to be a ground ball over to third. DeCinces will grab that one. He will flip that over to Grich at second. That'll get Sundberg. Grich will try to move the relay over to Carew at first, but the relay won't be in time. Concepcion will be safe with a fielder's choice. 1 out in the inning. The infield will stay at double play depth. We're going to get some activity in the Royals bullpen as starting to get loose for the Royals. Let's see, lefty, righty, lefty. Getting loose for the Royals is going to be Dennis Leonard. And the batter now for the Royals is Smith. Smith tonight is... he is 0 for 2, but he's reached on an error. The Angels have committed 3 errors tonight. That's how the Royals have a 5-0 lead. Sanchez looks to Boone for the sign, and he will pitch. That is a 420-something. That's a 426 against a righty of 426. Smith is going to get into one end of the gap, and that's going to be a double. The infield has got to play in. Kansas City trying to tee off here and blow this game wide open as if they haven't already. Batter now is Wilson. Wilson tonight is 0 for 3. Concepcion, let's look at the arms on the infield. He's probably going to have to go on contact, though. Yes, Concepcion will go on contact. Sanchez will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 660. That'll turn into a 670, and that's a wild pitch, and that's a bad thing. That's a very bad thing for the Angels. Concepcion will score. Smith to third, 6-0 in favor of the Royals. Stadium cheers. Yay! Also, ball one, we will do it again. This time it's a 351. And a 351 is going to be a base hit on the infield. That should score Smith. I'm pretty sure it will. Yep, Smith will score 7-0 in favor of the Royals. Stadium cheers. Yay! And here's the ever-dangerous Brett. Brett is 1 for 2 with a single, and he's been hit by a pitch. And, yep, if we stop, that's where we're going, Philip. We're going to Detroit at Baltimore. There is no way I'm passing up 2 of the 3 teams in that AL East race for a board game, but that's only if we stop. Starting to get loose for the Angels now is going to be Al Holland. The Angels need to stop this carnage, though. Brett tonight, as I mentioned, 1 for 2, reached on a hit batter and as a single. Sanchez will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 360, and a 360 is going to be grounded over to short. Grabbing that one is Gerber. He will step on first, he'll step on second, then he'll throw over to Carew at first. In time, G6-3 double play, and the side is retired. Yes. Actually, hold on. Right. Forgot to note the first out there. But the Royals pick up some breathing room. 1 run on 2 hits, actually on 3 hits and a wild pitch. And the Royals now open up a 7-0 lead after 7. With the shutout going, the Royals are going to let Saberhagen pitch. Plus, Leonard needs a little time to get ready anyway. As the Angels are looking at the bottom of the order, here's Gerber. Gerber's 0 for 2. Saberhagen got to be brimming with confidence tonight. He will get the sign from Sundberg. Royals Stadium is on their feet. Saberhagen will set, and he will pitch. That is a 551. That'll be over to third base, which is Brett. It'll be grounded right to him, to his left. Brett will move that over to first. 1 out in the inning. Boone is now the batter. Boone is 0 for 2. Saberhagen looking into Sundberg for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 232 against a righty. A 232 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Picking that one up at third base is going to be Brett once again. He will throw that over to first again. Out number 2. Here's Carew. Carew is 0 for 2, is 1 for 3 actually. Saberhagen pitching a gem tonight. He will get the sign from Sundberg, and he will pitch. That is a 213. And against a lefty, 213 is going to be a ground ball over to second. Just for variety's sake, this time it'll be White getting to that one. He will make the play over to first, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Angels here in the top of the 8th. I was just making sure I had my line score straight. As now we get set for the bottom of the 8th. Sanchez is going to come out of the game. The Angels are going to go back to the bullpen. Coming in to pitch coming in to pitch for the Angels is going to be Al Holland. 0-1 with a 1.48 ERA, 24 and a third innings pitched, 14 strikeouts, 10 walks, 4 home runs in 85. He will have the middle of the Royals order to contend with. Here's McRae. McRae is 0 for 3. Holland will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 2-12. And a 2-12 against a righty is going to turn into a 4-12. And against the lefty, McRae will trot to first with the leadoff walk. Holland not happy with that. The infield will go to double play depth as White is now the batter. White tonight is 0 for 2 and he reached on an error. Holland will get the sign from Boone. He will set and he will pitch. That is a 647. That'll turn into a 657. And that'll be a ground ball over to short. Gerber will get that one. He will throw that over. Gerber will throw that over to Grich at second. That'll get McRae. Grich will try to make the relay to Guru at first. That won't be in time. That'll be a 6-4 putout. White will be safe on the fielder's choice, though. As Balboni now steps into the batter's box. Balboni is 0 for 2, but he reached on an error. Holland will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 3-12, and a 3-12 is going to be a called strike 3 on Balboni as the high heat comes in, just catching the top of the zone for strike 3, out number 2. Balboni says, hey, that pitch was high. The umpire says, no, you're high. You're also out. Go sit. Motley, now the batter. Motley is 1 for 3, but that one was a grand slam back in the 4th. 7-0 Royals, bottom of the 8th. Holland will get the sign from Boone. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 167, and a 167 is going to be a 2-out walk for Motley. White will, of course, go to second on the play. Fans at Royal Stadium are loud. Sundberg, now the batter. Sundberg is 1 for 3, is actually 2 for 3, with a single and a double tonight. Fans at Royal Stadium are loud, hoping the Royals can get some of these runs in. Holland will get the sign from Boone, and he will pitch. That is a 119. That'll turn into a 319, and Sundberg swings through a changeup for strike 3. That will retire the side. 2 walks, but the Royals are not able to do anything with them. However, Kansas City has a 7-0 lead after 8. But will we see some 9th inning magic? God, I hope not. Well, actually, I'm off tomorrow, so I don't completely mind a little bit of 9th inning magic, but there needs to be a lot of 9th inning magic tonight. Actually, before we go too far, I need to check on my laundry timer once again. And once again, I need to take a small break. Seems to be no contest, one-sided tonight. It is very one-sided tonight. Kansas City, I think knew they had to have this game tonight. Obviously, they wanted it more at any rate. Saberhagen finishes up his warm-up tosses as we're looking at the top of the Angels order. Leonard continuing to throw for the Royals, but he's more of an insurance policy in case Saberhagen falters. Here's Jones. Jones is 0 for 3 tonight. 7-0 Royals, top of the ninth. Kansas City trying to make up some ground on California. California hoping for a miracle here. Saberhagen will get the sign from Sundberg. He will set and he will pitch. That is a 226. And against a lefty, a 226 is going to be a fly ball into right field. Getting under that one is going to be Motley. He will track that down near the track. He'll make the catch, and that'll be out number 1. Sconiers is the batter. Sconiers is 0 for 2 with a walk. Saberhagen looking into Sundberg for the sign once again. Fans at Royal Stadium are loud. Saberhagen will set, and he will pitch. That's a 165, and that'll be a ground ball over to first. Balboni will get that one. He will wave off Saberhagen coming over. Out number 2 in the inning. And the last chance for California tonight comes to Doug DeCinces. Doug DeCinces is 1 for 3 with a double. 2 outs, top of the ninth. 7-0 Royals. Can they make up ground in the AL West race? They seem to be about to. Saberhagen will get the sign from Sundberg. Fans at Royal Stadium on their feet, hoping Saberhagen can get this one done. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 357. And that's going to be a ground ball over to short. Concepcion will get that one on a hop. He'll pump once, pump twice, throw to first. That's your game. The Kansas City Royals slap the California Angels around, winning this one by a final score of 7-0. Stadium cheers. Yay! Final line score coming up. The 7-0 score, I don't think was even that close. For the Royals, 7 runs on 6 hits and no errors. For the Angels, no runs on 3 hits and 3 errors. Brett Saberhagen goes the distance for a complete game win. John Candelaria will eat the loss. That is a tough loss for the Angels to take in this American League West race. But we are, of course, not done yet because we still have to take a look around the majors in a very important session of Fast Score. As usual, I'm going to do my cleanup, and then we will get to that. Well, on the game, yes, congratulations to Brett, but there's not much to congratulate him on yet in terms of the postseason because we are not at the postseason just yet. I'm going to see if I can straighten this camera out just a bit. I didn't realize it was crooked all game. There we go. A very important session of fast score now waits for us tonight. So the Royals pick up a huge shutout from a 3-hit gem by Brett Saberhagen tonight as they beat the Angels 7-0. We're going to do the junk and fast score first, and then the good stuff at the end of each day. So first up on September 30th, White Sox and the Twins is very much junk. White Sox, 1254, that is 6. Twins, 834, that is 3. That's a win for the White Sox. Orioles and the Yankees is very much not junk. Athletics and Rangers, however, is junk. Athletics, 2125, that is 5. Rangers, 963, that is 7. That's a win for the Rangers. Braves and the Astros, that's junk in terms of making the playoffs. It's not junk for seeding for Houston, but they are all but locked into the 3 spot. So let's see how the Astros get on in essentially a warm-up game at this point for the playoffs. Braves, 864, that is 7. Astros, 1924, that is 4. That's a win for the Braves. And now we've got all kinds of good stuff coming up here. We'll save the most important game for last. That's the American League East. That's the Yankees. It's the Orioles and the Yankees. We'll save that one for last. Padres and the Dodgers. Cincinnati has a magic number of 1, which means either a win or a San Diego loss, and the Reds are in the playoffs. Dodgers have a magic number of 8 to lock up the number 1 seed in the National League. So we'll start off with the Padres and the Dodgers. The Padres are trying to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. Dodgers are chasing the 1 seed. Who makes up ground in their quest? Let's find out. Padres, 343, that is 3. Dodgers, 723, that is 2. And the Padres keep their own slim playoff hopes alive. Also, the Yankees have a magic number of 5. So they now have some room after a loss by the Dodgers tonight. Actually, that should be a loss for the Dodgers and a win for the Padres. Reds and the Giants. The Reds can also do it themselves with a win tonight. Do the Reds make the playoffs? Let's find out. Probably not with a roll like that. Reds, 1142. That is 5. Giants, 364, that is 6, and for one day at least, the Reds can't clinch a playoff spot. Back to the Yankees and the Orioles. Toronto has a magic number of 2, Detroit has a magic number of 4, both are chasing Baltimore. The Yankees now have a magic number of 4 to clinch home field throughout the playoffs. Can the Orioles keep their slim playoff hopes alive, or will the Yankees make up ground on the number 1 seed overall? The Tigers and the Blue Jays are both Yankees fans in this one, so let's see what happens here. Orioles, 1245, that is 5. Yankees, 1654, that is 7, and that's a win for the Yankees. So a lot's going on with that one. So the Yankees pick up a win. Toronto and Detroit both make up a game there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe we only had 7 games. Yep, okay. All right. October 1st. We're now into October baseball. I'm not going to bother with a standings update after this block because the next one will be the end of the season. Let's see, Red Sox and the Orioles. That's important for Baltimore. Seattle and Cleveland. That's trash. Seattle, 2044, that is 7. Cleveland, 1731, that is 4. That's a win for the Mariners. Let's see, Tigers and Blue Jays and the Tigers, about as not junk as you'll get. Angels and the Royals, also not junk. White Sox and the Twins, still junk. White Sox, actually they're both 12s. White Sox roll a 51, that is 6. Twins roll a 32, that is 4. That's a win for the White Sox. Brewers and Yankees is important for the Yankees, so we'll skip that one. Athletics and the Rangers is junk. Athletics, 823, that is 2. Rangers, 962, that is 7. And that's a win for the Rangers. Pirates and the Cubs, very much junk. Pirates, 263, that is 6. Cubs, 316, that is 1. And the Pirates will get that win. Braves and the Astros, once again, important for seeding for the Astros, junk otherwise. Braves, 925, that is 3. Astros, 1224, that is also 3. They will go to extras. Braves roll a 6, plus 1 is 7. Astros roll a 6, plus 0 is 6. That'll be a win for the Braves in extras. Padres and the Dodgers, not junk. Reds and the Giants, not junk. Mets and the Cardinals, in terms of clinching everything except seeding, is junk. Mets, 016 is 1. Cardinals, 965, that is 8. And that's a win for the Cardinals. Now we go to important stuff. We will start off with the Reds and the Giants. The Reds, once again, have a magic number of 1. They can clinch a playoff spot here. Do they? Let's find out. Reds, 943, that is 4. Giants, 321, that is 1. And with that win, the Cincinnati Reds have officially clinched a playoff spot. Congratulations to the Reds, they are in. Which means the Padres and the Dodgers, well, that's still important for Los Angeles. Because Los Angeles can still make up ground for the number 1 seed overall. Or for the number 1 seed in the National League. Padres, 965, that is 8. Dodgers, 521, that is 1. That's a win for the Padres. And that'll help the Yankees out in terms of their getting the number 1 seed overall. Speaking of the Yankees, let's go to the Brewers and the Yankees next. Yankees have a magic number now of 2 to lock up the number 1 seed overall. Brewers trying to play spoiler. Let's see what happens. Wow. Brewers, 965, that is 8. Yankees, 1962, that is 9. And that's a huge win for the Yankees. As the Yankees now have a magic number of 1 to pick up the number 1 seed overall. So now let's go to the Angels and the Royals. Angels, 414, that is 1. Royals, 655, that is 5. That's a win for Kansas City, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City is getting close to overtaking California for the AL West lead. Now let's go to the Red Sox and the Orioles next. Toronto's magic number is down to 1. Detroit's is down to 3. If the Orioles lose, Toronto is in the playoffs. Can the Red Sox, the Tigers and the Blue Jays are both Red Sox fans for this one. Can the Red Sox send the Blue Jays to the postseason? Let's find out. Red Sox, 1632, that is 4. Orioles, 1552, that is 6. And the Orioles managed to stay alive. The Blue Jays, however, can clinch themselves here. They just have to beat the Tigers in Detroit. Doyle Alexander against Frank Tanana. Can the Blue Jays clinch? Let's find out. Blue Jays, 915. That is 2. Tigers, 664. That is 7. That is a win for the Tigers. That'll bring Detroit's magic number down to 2. On to October 2nd. Mariners and the Indians is junk. Mariners, 1322. That is 3. Indians, 742. That is 4. That's a win for the Indians. Blue Jays and the Tigers, not junk. Angels and the Royals, not junk. White Sox and the Twins is junk. White Sox, 1323. That is 3. Twins, 822. That is 2. And that's a win for the White Sox. Brewers and the Yankees, with the Yankees with a magic number of 1 to lock up the number 1 seed overall. We'll come back to that. Athletics and the Rangers is junk. Athletics, 1531. That is 4. Rangers, 1115. That is 2. And that's a win for the Athletics. Pirates and the Cubs is junk. Pirates, 561. That is 6. Cubs, 1365. That is 9. And the Cubs win a shootout. Braves and the Dodgers, not junk for Los Angeles. We'll come back to that. Phillies and the Expos in a doubleheader, also not junk. Reds and the Padres is junk with Cincinnati clinching. Reds, 762. That is 6. Padres, 614. That is 1. And after clinching, that game belongs to the Reds. Astros and the Giants, very much junk. Astros, 1014. That is 1. Giants, 314. That is also 1. They will go to extras. Astros roll a 5 plus 0. Giants roll a 1. Minus 1 is 0. That'll be a win for the Astros in extras. Mets and the Cardinals is junk. Mets, 835. That is 4. Cardinals, negative 112. That is 0. That'll be a win for the Mets. Could be an NLCS preview if everything goes just right. Now we go for the important stuff. Phillies and the Expos. The Expos have a magic number of 1, but unlike the Reds, the Expos have to do it themselves. Can they? They've got 2 shots at it. Game 1. Phillies, 761. That is 6. Expos, 643. That is 4. The Expos won't clinch in Game 1. Game 2. Actually, that St. Louis loss was 1 for the Dodgers. Phillies, 962. That is 7. Expos, 853. That is 5. And the Phillies take both games in that twin bill, prevent the Expos from clinching anything tonight. Next, we'll go to the Braves and the Dodgers. Dodgers have a magic number of 7 for the number 1 seed in the National League after the Cardinals lost. Braves, 254. That is 254. That is 4. Dodgers, 1254. That is 6. That's a win for the Dodgers to cut into their magic number to clinch the number 1 seed. Next, let's go to the Brewers and the Yankees. If the Yankees win, they will clinch the number 1 seed overall. which means they will have home field advantage in the World Series. Terry Higuera against Bob Shirley. Let's see what happens here. Brewers, 234. Yep, 234. That is 2. Yankees, 1431. That is 4. And with that win, the New York Yankees now have the number 1 seed overall, which means they will have home field advantage should they make the World Series. Next up, we've got the... Did I somehow miss a Baltimore? Oh, looks like they got rained out or something. Okay, so now we're going to go to the Angels and the Royals. Game 2 of that series. Wow. California, 11-11. That is 0. What a time for the Angels to go on a slide. Royals, 8-16. That is 2. And the Royals suddenly picked the right time to get hot. Blue Jays and the Tigers. Toronto's magic number remains 1. Detroit's is now 2. Can the Blue Jays clinch, or will the Tigers make up, or will the Tigers bring their magic number down to 1? Let's find out. Blue Jays, 741. That is 4. Tigers, 354. That is also 4. They will go to extras. Blue Jays roll a 5 plus 0. Detroit rolls a 4. Minus 1 is 3. That'll be a win for the Blue Jays in extras. And with that victory, the Toronto Blue Jays have now clinched a playoff spot. The Blue Jays are now in. Last up is October 3rd. Detroit's magic number coming into today is 2. I'm going to take a quick drink before we continue. Okay. Still going to do our junk last here. We're still going to do our junk first. We'll start off with the Mariners and the White Sox. Mariners, 925. That is 3. White Sox, 45. 1345, that is 5. That is a win for the White Sox. Let's see. Not junk, not junk, not junk. Pirates and the Cubs are both 16s, and that game is junk. Pirates roll a 46. That is 6. Cubs roll an 11. That is 1. The Pirates put a hurting on the Cubs. Braves and the Dodgers. Dodgers have a magic number of 6 to clinch the number 1 seed in the National League. They probably won't clinch it here. I think we'll leave that to Fast Score. Phillies and the Expos. The Expos are still trying to clinch a playoff berth. Phillies are determined to play spoiler, though. That's not a junk game. We'll come back to that. Reds and the Padres is junk. Reds. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Reds. 611. That is 0. Padres, 944. That is 5. And the Padres get that win. Astros and the Giants. Astros, 1054. That is 6. Giants, 436. That is 3. And the Astros double up the Giants. Mets and the Cardinals is actually trash right now. Mets, 664. That is 7. Cardinals, 1032. That is 3. And that's a win for the Mets. Now we do the important stuff. Phillies and the Expos. Phillies are still determined to play spoiler. The Expos have to win this themselves. Shane Rawley's on the hill for the Phillies. Bill Lasky's up for the Expos. Can the Expos finally get that win to clinch a playoff spot? Let's find out. Phillies, 23-35. That is 6. Expos, 621. That is 2. And the Phillies are determined to play spoiler on the Expos, as the Expos pick a horrible time to get swept. And actually, let me look at the record here for the Expos. Okay, the Expos are still fine. Never mind. They just need to get one more. The Expos are like, why can't we get this one more blasted win? All right, Brewers. Okay, Brewers and the Yankees actually is junk now because the Yankees have locked up the #1 seed overall. I could have rolled that earlier, but we'll do it now. Brewers, 561. That is 6. Oh, we never did the... Okay. Yankees, 1646. That is also 6. They will go to extras. Brewers roll a 5, plus 1 is 6. Yankees roll a 1, minus 2 is -1. That'll be a win for the Brewers in extras. The Yankees can afford that loss because they've now clinched the #1 seed overall. Now we'll go back to the Braves and the Dodgers. Dodgers have a magic number of 6, looking for the #1 seed in the National League. Let's see if they make up ground on that. Braves, 511, that is 0. Dodgers, 1162, that is 7. And that's a win for the Dodgers. Okay, now we get to important stuff. Let's do the Angels and the Royals. California is letting a perfect opportunity to clinch the division go by the boards. Let's see what they do here. Angels, 855, that is 6. Royals, 556, that is 5. That's a much needed win for the Angels. The Angels' magic number to clinch, now down to 3. Let's do the Blue Jays and the Tigers next. We'll come back to Boston and Baltimore with a doubleheader. Toronto's in. Detroit's magic number is a 2. Jim Clancy's on the hill for the Blue Jays, and Walt Terrell's up for the Tigers. Let's see what happens here. Blue Jays, 1052. That is 5. Tigers, 726. That is 3. And the Blue Jays pick up another win. Detroit's magic number stays at 2. But now we've got the Red Sox and the Orioles in a doubleheader. If Baltimore loses both of these games, we are fast scoring our way through the rest of the season, because that'll be enough for Detroit to make the playoffs. Game 1, Bob Ojeda up for the Red Sox and Sammy Stewart up for the Orioles. Let's see what happens here. Wow, 66 is all around. Red Sox are at 1266. That is 11. Orioles are at 1366. That is also 11. Wow. The Orioles are just refuse to die, but they will go to extras. Both teams are terrible in extras. Red Sox roll a 2. Minus 4 is -2. Orioles roll a 3. Minus 2 is 1. That'll be a win for the Orioles in extras, and it sure looks like we're going to Baltimore tomorrow night. Game 2. Red Sox, 2743. That is 8. Orioles, 1253. That is 6. And they will split. The Red Sox and the Orioles will split the twin bill. Okay, that is it for Fast Score. So I will update my ticker standings, but Detroit's magic number is now 1. So not everything has been clinched yet in the AL East. Let me get my standings updated here. Ooh, cracked my knee. I felt I needed that, though. And I will need to make one more block here. Rangers did not only play twice in that block, did they? One, two. Yes, they did, apparently. Okay, never mind. What about the Cardinals? I don't. Let me just leave this over here. One, two, three. Okay, so they did play 3 times and went 1 and 2 in the block. Giants. I'll tell you who had a forgettable night tonight was Montreal. Magic number of 1, and they couldn't clinch. That's went 2 and 1 in this block. All right. All right. So, yeah, the Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays are in the playoffs as the Orioles can no longer catch them. The Orioles are after Detroit, and that'll be our feature game tomorrow night. But I'm just checking my standings here. California. Hold on. There's no way Kansas City's done after this. No, I got to fix my standings for them. The Twins are also not done yet. I got to do a little bit of standing doctoring here. The Expos somehow couldn't clinch, but the Reds are in. Which means the Padres are now mathematically eliminated. And that will do it for block California and Kansas City's records. California is at 90 and 68 right now. Kansas City's 91 and 70. I got to do a little bit of doctoring with that, though, because the Royals do have 3 games left. So I probably fat-fingered something in the blocks somewhere. I'll have to sit down and go through that a little bit later. But maybe you have a different record for them. But tomorrow night, we will have our last block tomorrow night, as we will be at Memorial Stadium for the Detroit Tigers at the Baltimore Orioles. And I just had, I think it's over here. Right, so yeah, we are going to, as I said, Memorial Stadium tomorrow night, October 4th, 1985. Dan Petry will be going for the Tigers, and Scott McGregor will be going for the Orioles. As for what else is coming up on the channel, Mystical Munchies on Saturday will finish out of the recipes from the World of Tolkien cookbook. You have the same, I probably got something wrong somewhere in the blocks then. I must have fat-fingered something, because the Royals should have 3 games left. So I got something screwed up in a block somewhere. I'll have to sort it out. Plus, I got to make a new block anyway. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will conclude out of the recipes from the World of Tolkien cookbook as we make the dessert, Bilbo's 71st birthday cake. As for Sunday, we will be in the playoffs in 1985 in season ticket baseball. Wednesday next week, we'll be doing a third period test of APA hockey. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone. The Kansas City Royals get a game they have to have, and they win this one handily as they beat the California Angels by a score of 7-0. Once again, take care.